Hello everyone, it's your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, here with another exciting video. And in this video, I'm going to be playing some AI Dungeon 2. This is another episode of our non-canon side story that takes place within an alternate universe of the Jet Starlight multiverse. This non-canon side story takes place after episode 39 of Jet Starlight. This is part 3 of Jet Starlight versus Yule Man versus Ainz. So in the first part, Jet Starlight had essentially just defeated the threat to humanity that existed in the evil realm when suddenly it was revealed that the actual threat to humanity was the Yule Man. So then Jet Starlight faced off against the Yule Man. In part 2, Jet Starlight defeats the Yule Man, but he loses a lot of his powers in the process. So he ends up just being able to manipulate ectoplasm, evil spirits, and like void energy. Then Ainz from the anime Overlord sensed that Jet Starlight's power had increased to such an incredible degree, and he felt like he would be a threat when Ainz wants to like take over the multiverse. So Ainz travels to the evil realm to face off against Jet Starlight, who's tired after having just faced off against the Yule Man. So now Jet Starlight and Ainz are fighting, and it seems like Ainz has gotten the upper hand on Jet Starlight. So that's pretty much where we left off. Keep in mind this is a non-canon side story, and the reason why all this crazy stuff is happening is because this non-canon side story is heavily based on just what fans want. So if you tell me on Discord or something that you guys really want Jet Starlight to fight like X, Y, or Z character, then I can do these little non-canon side stories and fit them in like in between episodes and do crazy stuff like this. But without further ado, I've used up enough of your time. Let's hop right into today's episode. So let me start the timer. Now, last night we had some issues with this command right here because it just wouldn't do anything. Like it didn't run. So I'm going to retry it now and see if we have better luck this time. Here we go. You are being electrocuted and burned at the same time. The lightning continues to surge through you as the fire begins to melt your ghostly form away. You wonder exactly how you're going to overcome such a mighty opponent. It truly feels like all hope is lost. You're tired. You've done so many back-to-back fights. The Yule Man negated your abilities, so while you're in your spirit form, you only really have the ability to manipulate ectoplasm, void energy, and evil souls. You stare Ainz in the eye and you ask him, "Are you evil, or do you fight for the good of mankind?" "I'm evil through and through. I'm a scourge to all that is good in this world," says Ainz. Let's see. Okay, I'm about to goot him. You laugh maniacally. You attempt to use void manipulation to summon a void ice scythe into your hands so that you can conduct the magic electricity out of your body and into the blade of your scythe. So I have this plan that I've been thinking about since last night where my powers kind of set me up to be like a perfect kind of Grim Reaper. You find that Ainz's lightning spell has completely fried your abilities to manipulate the void. Oh no. You feel helpless and weak as you fumble to summon your weapon. You can't even muster any negative emotions such as fear or anger in order to make the process easier. Really? Everybody I'm fighting is like fucking with my powers. So if I don't even have access to the void, then really it's just ectoplasm. I can just do ghost stuff. Which, to be honest, ghost stuff is pretty powerful. You realize that without access to your void manipulation abilities, that you can no longer use void ice, manipulate void energy, or manipulate evil souls. This is terrible news, as Ainz just revealed that he is evil, so he would have been vulnerable to your evil soul manipulation. Now, you only have your ghostly abilities to rely on. Okay. So, what am I going to do? I'm having my ectoplasm actively melted away by fire. And my body's being electrified by magical electricity. Your ectoplasmic form is dripping as Ainz's magical fire continues to melt it down like a candle. Your ghostly form convulses from the magical lightning that still shocks your system. Let's see. You could say still violently shocks your system or something. You realize that if you are unable to access your other abilities, that you might as well take advantage of your opponent's power. You attempt to absorb the magical lightning and magical fire that Ainz used against you as a way to empower yourself into a new elemental spirit transformation. Okay. So let's see if that works. Because he ruined my whole plan. I was going to try and become a void ice grim reaper. It was going to be a really cool idea. You are able to absorb the magical lightning into your body, but you fail to absorb the magical fire, which continues to burn away your form. Interesting. So I now have magical lightning, but the magical fire is burning me away. So unless I can do something to get rid of the magical fire, I'm pretty much screwed. You know that Ainz is still weak from when you deflected his magical lightning back at him earlier in the battle. Also, let me double check to make sure that everything's running. So the recording is still running and the timer is still running. Just wanted to double check. Let's see. You know that Ainz is still weak from when you deflected his magical lightning back at him earlier in the battle. Now that you have harnessed his magical lightning and made it your own, you feel confident that you should be able to take Ainz down. I just realized I need to turn the volume down just in case the timer goes off. The only issue is that as long as Ainz's magical fire continues to burn away your ectoplasmic form, you are essentially fighting on a time limit. If Ainz can prevent you from landing a good hit, you could melt away into a puddle before you even have the opportunity to land a single strike on Ainz. Let's see. So I'm gonna have to be smart. You make it a priority of yours to try and find a way to put out the magical fire. But now I need to try and figure out how on earth would I put out a magical fire. I can't even use void ice to try and put out the magical fire because I'm not connected to the void anymore. Let's see. I used to just be a master of fire magic, but like I mentioned before, the Yule Man negated a whole bunch of my powers before this fight. So now I have lightning abilities and ghost abilities, which are really good. But my ghost form was intangible when I got hit with the fire, so being intangible didn't really do anything. I wonder, you attempt to use your ghostly abilities to phase shift the magical fire so that it phases out of your body and into the ground. Yeah. If I can't phase through the fire, maybe I can make the fire phase through me. You make eye contact with Ainz and he laughs at you. He then presses a button on his throne, and the magical fire that was burning you is now replaced by a magical frosty mist coming out of the walls of the chamber. You watch as your body begins to gradually freeze. Okay, hold on. I can make that make sense. Ainz snaps his fingers, and the two of you are transported into Ainz's throne room in his universe. Ainz then presses a button on his throne, and the magical fire that was burning you is now replaced. Well, you need to change that a little bit because you already got rid of the magical fire. Let's see. Press a button on his throne, and a magical frosty mist coming out from the walls of his throne room encapsulate your body. Will encapsulate your ghostly form. You watch as your body begins to gradually freeze. Okay, cool. You were surprised that Ainz is still powerful enough to teleport you both. You were surprised that Ainz is still powerful enough to teleport you both to another universe. Ainz thinks that he has the upper hand because he is freezing you. But he doesn't realize that by freezing you, that he is helping to re-solidify your ectoplasmic form that moments ago was melting away. I guess you can just say solidify. You don't have to say re-solidify. That he is helping to solidify your ectoplasmic form that moments ago was melting away. So I think it's a good thing that I'm like being covered in the ice. You notice that the icy mist is filling the throne room, while Ainz is not being frozen. He is still being surrounded by the mist. Mist contains water particles and water particles can conduct electricity. Ainz can be injured by your electric attacks because they are conjured using Ainz's own lightning magic. You attempt to release a shockwave of magical lightning in the hopes that the mist will conduct the magical lightning and electrocute Ainz. So there we go. That's my plan. I'm gonna use his icy mist against him. The attempt works, and a wave of magical lightning passes through the mist, hitting Ainz. He falls to the floor, severely wounded. That'll teach you, you say. You don't give Ainz time to react, as you begin blasting him with your lightning magic attacks. You know that you need to finish Ainz off as quickly as possible. You don't want to give Ainz the opportunity to use more of his magic against you. You blast him with a continuous stream of magical lightning. Ainz looks like he is in extreme pain as the magical lightning causes his body to spasm, shake, and jolt. You realize that you have to keep doing this because Ainz isn't actually dying. Okay. You attempt to electrify your fist and to punch Ainz through the head in an attempt to detonate Ainz's skull with an electric burst. You yell, "Electromagnetic decapitation." Man, I could have added the word punch in there or something, and it would have been interesting. You raise your fist over your head and bring them down on Ainz's head. The top half of his skull is blown off as his brain matter and blood splatter everywhere. His body twitches for a few moments and then goes limp. I'll be back. You hear Ainz say as his voice fades. Okay. You notice that Ainz is wearing magical rings. You attempt to remove Ainz's magical rings and to try and use their power to bring back all the powers you lost while fighting Ainz and the Yule Man. You try to pull off the ring on Ainz's middle finger. You wince as you feel a shock of electricity go through your body. You find that the magical ring is stuck on his finger and won't come off. Interesting. So I can't just get my powers back by removing Ainz's magical rings and using them for myself. So if I can't use his rings to get my powers back, I'm going to have to find another way. And I had a shit ton of abilities before now. So this is actually quite the interesting situation for Jet Starlight to be in. Luckily, this is a non-canon side story, so I don't feel too bad about it. But it is really interesting to play as Jet Starlight, who's a literal god, and then be Well, now he's like a lightning ghost, and that's it. Like very trimmed down. But even as a lightning ghost, I just feel like Jet Starlight is such a good strategist and such a like versatile fighter that he can just kind of always find a way, even when his back is pushed against the wall. Like even now that he's lost most of his abilities after fighting Yule Man and after fighting Ainz, he still has like magical lightning that's so powerful that it can take Ainz down. And Ainz has been described as like the most powerful enemy Jet Starlight has ever faced. So his lightning isn't like, so so. Like the lightning power is pretty good. Also, the like the ghostly form is established to be able to do stuff like you put some of your spirit energy in like ashes and then you create like an undead warrior that'll fight for you that can act as like a conduit for your power or whatever. So I can still summon undead warriors, I can phase through stuff, I can make other stuff phase through me. I can shoot like ectoplasmic blast, I can fly. Like I still am pretty powerful. I'm just not literally like manipulating reality and stuff like that. So cool. Like I like where the story turned out. I guess what I would want to do is get back home now that I've defeated Ainz. Because now I'm stuck in the fucking Overlord universe. I don't even know anything about that anime. So I need to try and get back home. So you attempt to use your magical lightning to manipulate electromagnetic fields to warp space-time to open a gateway back to your universe. Well, I guess back to the evil realm where we were before. Because if I can get back to my body, I might just be able to resurrect to get my powers back. You focus and concentrate to open up a portal. Nothing happens. You realize that you can't bring back the dead. You will return in a few days to pick up where you left off. Well, I didn't try to bring back the dead. So get rid of that last part where it's like you realize you can't bring back the dead. So it's saying that I can't open up a portal using the magical lightning. So until I figure out something, I'm kind of stuck here. What's the easiest way for me to like come back? Yeah, I guess that's like a thing I could try to do. If I can put my spirit energy inside of ashes that are still in the evil realm while I'm not in the evil realm, I could essentially remotely control a puppet while still being in the Overlord universe or whatever. I mean, the real thing that I need to do, I guess, is allow my spirit to like go to the afterlife because then from the afterlife, well, from the afterlife, the way that I would resurrect back in the day would be to use my powers to escape through heaven's gates. Oh, wait. But when you die, you get your power. Yeah. That's right. When you go back to the afterlife, you get your powers back, which is how you undo power negation. Because I've had my powers negated in the past. That's just what happens. It's like they get negated, but then when you die and in the afterlife, it's like you get a reset. So if I want all my powers back, I just need to allow myself to go to the afterlife. You allow your spirit to travel to the afterlife. You know that in the afterlife, your powers will return, which will allow you to resurrect back in your universe. You close your eyes and immediately find yourself in a dark room. You stand up and realize that you are in fact dead. You have died, a voice booms. Yes, you say. You are standing before the judge of the dead. Okay. You attempt to resurrect now that your powers have returned. in the afterlife. Yeah, I don't really care about this whole Judge of the Dead thing. I never had to like mention like interact with him before, so skipping that. Are you willing to come back to life? The judge asked. Yes. You're struck by a beam of light from above that brings you back to life. Your skin is warmer and your wounds are healed. Okay, awesome. So I'm back to life. You use portal magic to resurrect Cyrus and Laura. Back on Earth. You are able to resurrect your sister back on Earth. You don't know if Cyrus is dead or not, but regardless, you don't think you can bring him back. Cyrus is hella dead. And also, Laura's not my sister. Stop lying. Retry. You open a portal above you, and your corpse disappears from the afterlife. A few seconds later, Cyrus and Laura's corpses appear in front of you. Soon, Cyrus and then later, a much healthier looking, though still banged up Laura are resurrected. I feel better. Okay, cool. Let's see. So I would say, Cyrus, earlier when you were controlled by that weird dragon thing that I thought was the threat to humanity, you gained magical lightning abilities and spellcasting abilities. Do you still have those powers? This is interesting because now we're past like the like filler stuff. Like this is something that I would ask anyways, like in the like normal story. So maybe I'm going too far by like having defeated Ainz and now returning to Earth. Because it seems like I'm about to end the Evil Realm War, and then in episode 40, I'm gonna end up doing like this exact same thing. Like it's like I'm gonna bring them back to life, and then we're gonna go back to Earth, and then I'm gonna be like, hey, we're gonna end the Evil Realm War. Okay, but anyways, yes, Cyrus says, I can manipulate lightning as you saw, and I can cast spells as well. I just haven't learned any new spells yet. Can you use any other magic, you ask? No, Cyrus says. That's interesting. So, at least in this continuity, Cyrus is like, all those abilities I got from the Threat to Humanity Dragon, I kept those. In the actual continuity, I could ask him that same question, and he could potentially say no. Like, those were like temporary powers that he got from being mind controlled by the Threat to Humanity, which would also be interesting. Let's see. I'm very conflicted about like doing stuff now. Let's see. How much time do I have left? Oh, I have like 4 minutes just about. I kind of want to stop here. The only reason why I want to stop early, I know some people at home are like, boo, boo, you didn't go the full 30 minutes. It's because we're just past the filler. Unless you guys, like last time, right? I was able to defeat Yule Man at like the beginning of part 2. And then Ainz was already a character that you guys said, yes, we want you to fight. And then here's like all the information about Ainz so that you can put him in the world info so that you can battle against him. I know there are some SCPs that you guys want to see Jet Starlight face off against. If you guys want to see a part 4 to like this non-canon side story, send me those SCPs or whatever. I have like a list of questions that I posed to the King of Craxels on Discord because he mentioned an SCP that he wanted me to fight. If he answers those questions and DMs me like all that information about the SCP, then I can make a part 4 where it's like right as Cyrus and Laura and I have returned to Earth, and Cyrus explains like, yeah, I did inherit those powers. Suddenly, like the SCP shows up. I mean, it'll be better than that. I'll make like an explanation for like how the SCP gets there and why we'd be fighting the SCP and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd be totally down to do a part four. I actually really love the concept of you guys having more of a direct influence on the show in a way that allows for like really anything to happen, but without it necessarily like messing with continuity. If I don't get any ideas for like a fourth part to this non-canon side story, then the next episode of Jet Starlight will just be straight up episode 40, and we'll just continue with like the normal canon story, jumping back to when we defeated the actual threat to humanity in the evil realm. But I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you guys like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we do these videos. We do daily AI Dungeon 2 videos here on the channel. Also, make sure that you share this video with a friend because I love seeing you guys' like scenario suggestions. So if you have a friend who's like super creative, they have all these ideas for like cool scenarios that are safe for work, that have goals that I could try to achieve within a 30-minute time span, like a speed run, then definitely share this video with your creative friends so that they can give me ideas for like new AI Dungeon 2 videos to where I can like speed run through their scenarios. And if you're super creative, feel free to in the comment section below or in our Discord link in the description, send me like links to your scenarios that are safe for work and that have like a solid goal in them that I can try to achieve in 30 minutes. Also let me know if there are any videos that you would like to see like sequels to. I'm totally down with doing sequels to like AI Dungeon 2 videos that I've done in the past. But yes, thank you all once again for watching. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, logging out. Peace. Chickadagawa.